Good morning. How are you today? I hope everybody's doing well. So today's topic is going to be how do I overeat, or why, not how, but why do I overeat when I'm stressed? So today's topic that we're going to be talking about is why stress causes you to overeat and what you can do instead to avoid that overeating. So I'm Kelsie, Michaud, health and life coach, and I help people to just end emotional eating, stop dieting, so you can just feel good in your body and the choices that you make, and in life, it's all good. Stress-free, no more fearing food, all good stuff. So, are you someone who turns to food when you feel stressed? Maybe from your work or your family, or maybe a social obligation you have coming up, something you have to go to. Does that kind of like give you a little anxiety, stress you out a bit? Well, we're going to look at why, okay? Exactly why you eat when you're stressed, okay? And how this emotional eating is affecting your weight, it's affecting your health, and what you can actually do some things you can do really just instead to help you combat this overeating and turning to food less and less when we get stressed, okay? We'll find other ways that will help us instead. And I have 5 ways that I'm going to share with you today. So lots of things that you can choose from that you could even start incorporating today, okay? So we know stress is a very common trigger for emotional eating, and that's because our everyday life just happens. You know, it causes stress and anxiety, and that unfortunately sometimes leads to us overeating. So if you happen to come on, say hello, let me know you're here. I'd like to say hi to you. And if you have any questions, feel free to just drop it in the comments for me. I'm more than happy to answer your questions. So some stressors, they come from within us, right? And other stressors, they're kind of external stressors. So sometimes you put stress on yourself because maybe you're a type of perfectionist. You feel like everything has to be just right and on point all the time. And that can kind of like cause anxiety to kick in sometimes. And maybe you're at work and you want to ask for a raise. You know, that can certainly cause a little anxiety. That can raise that stress level right there. Maybe you're having a problem with a friend or family member or your spouse, you know, all stressful things. And then those stressors that come from the outside are the demands from the job, any medical issues that you might have to deal with, family obligations, social pressures, and these are stressors that sometimes are just not within our control, okay? So things that are positive, it can even cause stress sometimes. Like for instance, when you're buying a new home, yeah, it's a happy, exciting time, but stress can certainly tag along with it. Maybe if you're getting married or having a baby, again, exciting, happy times, but they can be stressful as well. Okay, they're all like they're really happy events, but they still are stressful because they actually involve change, right? Something different is happening, and I know how I am with change. I don't love it. Even though sometimes once I go through it, then I'm like, okay, it wasn't as bad as I thought, but I'm very much a creature of habit, and I know a lot of you guys are too. And change can always bring some kind of like new or anxiety type feelings into your life. And that's why both positive and negative circumstances can also lead to emotional overeating. So I'm curious, which foods do you turn to when you're most stressed out? What comforts you the most in the form of food when you're feeling a little anxiety or any kind of stress going on within your body? And I'm sure that you know comfort foods, you know, those are the ones that mentally bring us back to a place, a good place. Usually they make us feel good, and they're usually higher fat and higher sugar, right? And that is what emotional overeaters usually crave when that stress level goes up. And that's why psychological stress and reward eating comes from not having so much control over the types and amounts of food that you end up eating. Okay, so these are actually the two top factors that prevent so many people from losing weight. So, doorbell, my dog wants to come in. Let's see if I can unplug it. It's against the wall here. Okay, so anyway, she's going to hang out outside for a little bit longer. It's nice out. It's nice and sunny out there, so she can hang out outside and wait for us. So let's talk about, does stress actually cause your hunger? Well, I'm going to break it down for you, okay? So we have, hey Mindy, how are you? Thanks for coming on. So we have both physical and psychological relationships with food. And your physical relationship with food is, it's types of foods that you choose to eat. It's also your eating behavior, your habits, how your body responds to these, like biologically to your diet. And your psychological or your emotional relationship with food is based on how you think about food, okay? It's how you use food for reasons other than hunger, and how food actually relates to your body image, how you see yourself, or the way you feel about how you look, okay? So sometimes you eat to satisfy that true hunger, or because of physical need, there's just this physical need to eat and to survive, all right? We have to eat, and then there's times when we stress eat, okay? And that's not when we have to eat, but you eat to satisfy your appetite or your desire for a particular type of food. When it's emotional, it's always a particular food that you're craving because you believe it's going to give you some kind of relief, okay? It's going to give you that comfort that your body is just really searching for, it's really longing for. And that's a psychological or emotional need that has nothing to do with your hunger, okay? Emotional hunger is that response that you get to those just overwhelming feelings and emotions that we feel sometimes. And of course, if you're hungry and you're stressed at the same time, you may well be eating to satisfy that hunger for sure, but at the same time, you may choose something like fast food or dessert over something that's a little more nutrient dense for you, because at that moment, you're not trying to eat healthy. You're not thinking anything about being healthy because you're so stressed. And you just want to be comforted. Your body wants comfort, number one. That's just what it wants. So the biological reason that you overeat when you're stressed is because that chronic stress, it's causing more cortisol to be released within your body, within your bloodstream, okay? And that's where, like, when the cortisol is more present in your blood, you're going to have more of an appetite. So figure more cortisol, more appetite, more hunger, okay? So let's talk about some ways that we can actually handle this stress when it arises, because it's going to happen. We have stress throughout our days, day in and day out, and it's a matter of how we handle it and what we do about it, which can help us to not always turn to food every single time. Good morning, Angela. How are you? So to get control of your stress eating, you have to get control of your stress levels. So I know that sounds easier said than done, but the best way to deal with stress is to simply address what's actually going on, okay? And you might be like, okay, yeah, I'm stressed. I'm not thinking about how to deal with it, but you can learn to be more prepared to handle stressful situations in the future before both the problem and your eating behavior, your stressful eating behavior, actually get out of hand, okay? And I give my clients these tools and techniques to handle stress so that they're better able to handle whatever situation arises and be less likely to turn to food for comfort. Right, Angela? Angela is one of my clients, and she's doing amazing. She's implementing everything that we've gone through so far, and oh my gosh, she is just killing it, absolutely killing it. I'm so proud of her, and I'm just so happy for you. And I just had to throw that out there, give you a little high five today. So, okay, so let's talk about some of these ways that we can actually help manage stress to avoid that stress eating, because we don't want to be turning to food every single time, right? So number one, you got to know what's stressing you. You got to know your stressors. If you know what's actually going on, what's causing you to stress, then you know, okay, if this is your emotional trigger. Like once you recognize what your emotional trigger is, then you can take the steps to actually avoid them, or to at least be more prepared for them. Okay, so it just comes with being more aware and being more in tune with your body, being more mindful. All of these things just kind of, roll into one another, and they just, they meld really nice together. And number two is exercise. Exercise is a great stress reducer. It makes you feel so good. It actually releases those feel-good chemicals in your brain. So if you're physically fit, you're more resistant to the effects of stress, actually, because you're feeling these feel-good chemicals more often. And exercise causes those chemical changes in the brain to actually reduce stress. But unfortunately, stress itself can prevent some people from actually taking the steps like going to exercise. We need to get past that point. So that could make the difference in their mental and physical health. So if your personal circumstances make it difficult for you to get to the gym or do some exercise at home, try to just increase the amount of movement that you're doing, whether it's just walking or gardening or even cleaning around your house, or other, light forms of movement and exercise that you can do from day to day. All right, and that's going to get your blood flowing, your heart pumping. Just getting up and moving is going to be good for you, and it's going to get that blood flow to your brain, which is going to signal those triggers to be like, all right, yeah, I'm moving, this feels good. Okay, and then you're less likely to be stressed, and then when you're less likely to be stressed, you're less likely to stress eat. All right, make sense? Okay, so number three, reach out for help. Don't be afraid to talk to somebody, or to reach out, or feel like you can do this all on your own. You don't have to struggle. I'm sure there's people out there that are willing to help you and talk to you. And if you can't think of anyone right now, reach out to me. You can PM me anytime. I am so happy to chat with you or answer your questions. But just talking out your feelings with close friends or family members, who can give you support, the support that you need to get through any particular situation, can make you feel so much better. It can help to release that stress, just talking it out. Talking it out gets it out, okay? And number four, I mentioned mindfulness. We got to practice some mindfulness. We got to keep that in practice, because the more you practice it, obviously, the more it's going to just keep happening for you, the more you're going to do it. So that means things like meditation or yoga, even Tai Chi. This is going to really soothe your mind and your body, because these are like mindfulness-based exercises that can really help calm your mind and body. So when you're being mindful, you're being calm and you're being more focused, right? And then you're better able to make like these smarter and healthier choices for yourself, like for your own like lifestyle choices. Mindful eating, of course, is very, very important. That's slowing down and paying more attention to what you're eating and how you're eating. Okay, they go hand in hand, and they work really well together when you do both. And that's a form of mindfulness as well. Okay, and last but not least, number five, let's learn intuitive eating. I'm sure if you've watched any of my videos before, you've heard me harp about this. Intuitive eating is the way to go. I wish I found it so much sooner, because it's a practice that actually complements mindful eating. Intuitive eating means you're paying more attention. You're paying more attention to just that natural internal hunger and fullness signals that we're born with, okay? And they're sending those signals between your gut and your brain. And these signals help you to determine what, how much, and when to eat, okay? So it's also about like just trusting those signals. You got to trust. And once you understand and trust your own natural eating cues, unless you have any dietary restrictions, then you can just, give yourself full permission to give into a craving for, say, like if it's chocolate cake or brownies or cookies or chips or whatever your thing is. And you can give yourself full permission to eat that just as easily as you can give yourself permission to eat vegetables, okay? Without any shame or guilt for either one. And you'll know intuitively when to say enough, whether you're eating the vegetables or the cake. Sounds wonderful, doesn't it? Because it really, really is, once you learn how to do that and to eat in that manner. Because your decision is actually based on your hunger as well as the appeal of certain foods at certain times, but not on how stressed or emotional you feel in that moment. Okay, that's the difference, and that's what intuitive eating can do for you. That's what it's done for me. It's been absolutely amazing. Eating intuitively absolutely empowers you to just learn what your body feels like when you are truly hungry versus hunger that is brought on by stress, or even that need to feel that emotional comfort. So when you understand and you pay attention to all the whys of what your body is craving, you'll have a better understanding of how to manage your stress eating, okay? So if you are somebody, do you wish that you could stress less? Who doesn't want to stress less, right? Do you want to stress less, overeat less, eat more intuitively? Then, I can help you. We can chat. I am helping women one-on-one with a simple 4-week process that you can use anytime. It will take the stress out of overeating and replace it with the tools to trust yourself with food. Just absolutely love all the foods that you can eat, that you love to eat, and absolutely love the skin you're in. You're eating intuitively while meeting your goals. And if you want to know more about the details of this, just type a yes in the comments or send me a PM, whichever works best for you. And please let me know if you have any questions about the content I just covered, or any questions in general. I'm happy to answer too. If any questions about your own health and wellness, I'm happy to chat. So let's see, Mindy, such a great explanation. Oh, thank you, Mindy. I appreciate that. And let me know if you guys have any questions or would like to dive deeper into intuitive eating, or if there's just any other content that you'd like to hear more about. I'm open to suggestions as well. So if there's nothing else right now, I'm going to hop off because I'm going to speak with Angela soon. I had to check the time. But I hope everyone has a very beautiful day, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye, guys.